Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk about CBS, media, all that stuff here in a second, but let's talk football first. Some new technological changes for the NFL with the yard line technology and a bunch of other things. How do you sort of feel like the NFL, compared to other leagues, maybe the NBA, has done in terms of changing and altering the rules, especially when it comes to new technology?
Yeah, listen, they started a while ago with trying to make the game safer, and then they've been hearing the whispers asking the NFL if they're going to usher in some of this newer tech. This is an old school sport, and we have a lot of traditional fans. But at the same time, there is this youthful audience, this youthful demographic that really leans on technology. And they're like, yo, what's up? Like, how are we not utilizing everything that we see in all these other leagues? Then you really just leave it up to people to watch it instead of waiting until after the game and saying, oh, they screw it and blew that game. It's all fixed. You know, I hate those storylines because there's no way you can fix an NFL game. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
And you would know, obviously.
I would know. You can't fix an NFL game. There's too many variables.
Right, of course.
Like, there might be a blown call here or there. Right. There might be a superstar that gets a lenient no call, but you can't fix an NFL game.
Also, in terms of changes, even from the media landscape, I mean, Netflix adding all of these Christmas Day games. There's now 3 Christmas games, one on Amazon coming up. You were part of that. What was sort of your idea and your mindset on the NFL coming in on Christmas? Because this was always traditionally the NBA's day, but now it seems like the NFL's taken it over, and it's been incredibly successful.
Money talks and all the rest walks. Come on now. Netflix and Amazon, let's just keep it real. Let's call it what it is. They were like, look, the NBA has dominated Christmas for a long time. We want in on the action. And the NFL was like, all right, talk to me nice, so don't talk to me twice. Come with the dollars, or I'm going to let you guys deal with Christmas how you want to with the movies that you're showing. And listen, the dollar sign was right, but more importantly, all jokes aside, it was how they produced it up. They did a great job of not just producing up the game, but also the halftime shows were entertaining. And for the first time in a long time, I believe that the NFL has cemented its position on that day that was notoriously known as an NBA day. Shout out to LeBron.
Yeah, I was going to say, LeBron.
Said, like, the NBA is, what did he say? The NBA
he said this was the NBA, Christmas is the NBA's day.
No, Bronny. My bad, I don't want to call you Bronny. That's disrespectful. Bronny is your son.
Yes.
Bron.
Yes.
The NFL is king. Football is king. You know that. You the king. So you know football is king. This is how I knew the NFL has successfully replaced the NBA on Christmas Day. I was watching TV, waiting for some type of cool promo for the NBA, some guys shooting into the nets with the jingle bells, or Santa Claus dribbling, something.
And?
There was nothing. They did not market Christmas Day. They didn't go big like they used to. That's because they realized the NFL is here. It's here to stay.
And do you love doing the Christmas games? I mean, I know you just did it just recently.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, we spent the Christmas in Pittsburgh. The family was hanging out with me, and we watched the game. It was fun. We enjoyed it. You know, shout out to Pittsburgh and everybody there. We had a good time. But it's an opportunity for me to, one, be in the booth. You know, I'm in studio most of the time for every show that I'm on, so I get to flex a different type of muscle, and it feels good to be on the field. I don't oftentimes get to see the guys that I talk about because I've been in studio for so long. So it feels good to walk on the field in the pregame and, you know, guys call me Unc and Grandpa. I appreciate that.
When we were at the Super Bowl, we were talking to Brian Roloff at the NFL, and he was talking about how we love Brian Roloff. His whole thing was like with the Manning cast, with the Nickelodeon cast, you're getting viewers who maybe don't want to watch the regular game, but in different ways you're finding other ways to get them involved.
For sure.
And you're obviously part of the Nickelodeon telecast. What's your sort of mindset going into something like that? And do you like the idea of the NFL having other platforms that are broadcasting the game in different ways?
Yeah, it's great for the game. Listen, I'm an 80s baby. I was raised in the 90s, so I'm influenced by those 2 decades, and it was part of the Nickelodeon era. So I've seen every era, and I have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 14-year-old, well, soon to be 21, 19, and 15. But I've seen every single era era of Nickelodeon, and I realize how impactful it is and the reach that they have. So being able to call the game and have this perfect marriage between the NFL and Nickelodeon, it only just reestablishes the idea that there is an opportunity to reach new fans, and there's different ways to do it. There's still families that have to make a decision on Sundays whether they're going to sit there with grandpa who really loves the Packers and watch football, or if they're going to watch some family-friendly content. What we do is marry both of those things. And the biggest compliment that we get is that it's entire families that are watching. I just had an interview with Asia Wilson, shout out, she's a GOAT. Yeah. And as we get done doing the interview, she's like, that's where I recognize you from. And I'm thinking, because, I'm a former receiver and I got a big old ego, that she's going to be like, I remember when you played, you were amazing. Or she's probably going to say, I love what you do on CBS with the NFL or in morning news.
Wait.
She was like, I watch NFL Slide Time. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you watch NFL? She's like, I love the show. It's fun.
That.
So that just put things in perspective. Like, there's fans of all ages.
MVPs are watching this.
So I thought that was dope. So it really just kind of confirms that what we're doing is working.
There was one quote you said in Esquire that really stood out to me. You said, working in the media is actually harder 100%. Than working in football. No Explain that.
I was blessed and gifted physically, so I just had to improve on the skill set that I already had after I left high school and college to play in the NFL. Hard work, yes. Did we work our asses off? For sure. It is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not being dismissive to the game or athletes that play the game. They know exactly what I mean when I say that. But there is a different type of muscle when you are working in news. On any given week, I'm reading 4 or 5 books because we have 5 authors coming in. And that's just not to mention being prepared for what's going on politically, socially. And then we're still going to entertain, so we have to cover pop culture, movies, music, and TV. The biggest compliment that we get on our show at CBS Mornings, and shout out to Gil, King, Tony DeCopo, and Vlad, and of course everybody else that works on the show, is that we actually put the effort in to read the books, watch the movies, and watch the shows. Yeah. It means so much more than any other trophy I've ever won.
And on top of that, getting the coveted Asia Wilson Nickelodeon endorsement is even bigger than that.
No, and she sent me some shoes. Shout out to Asia Wilson, man.
Amen. Nate Burleson, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you can watch Nate on pretty much everything on CBS News, Nickelodeon, and of course, Hollywood Squares as well. We got more Front Office Sports Today coming your way.